Telling this Renault 14 story requires almost no guesswork because I own it. I got it for free as a parts car in 2012 when I purchased a 1980 14 TL that I drove daily for years. This car had a completely unremarkable life during the 1980s. It was just your average family hatchback that someone drove to the store, to the bakery, and occasionally to the next town over. It embarked on an unexpected adventure in the 1990s when it was purchased by the local fire department. It got this sticker on the hood when it joined the force. Nowadays, the fire department uses Toyota and Mitsubishi pickup trucks. I guess back then they were content with a Renault 14. They used this car to patrol the hills around town and make sure that nobody was starting fires. But the Renault 14 is not an off-roader, and soon enough the steering rack snapped. Now, this being a small town, the fire department gave it to the guy I got it from, who used it for parts. He notably put this car's engine in the one I drove. I also used it for parts. I grabbed the mirror, I grabbed the taillight lenses, and a bunch of other bits and pieces. Now, there's not a whole lot left on this car that could be salvaged, and sooner or later I'll strip the usable parts, give them to another enthusiast who can hopefully keep another 14 on the road with him. But right now it's stored in a field that belongs to the person who gave it to me, and it's not in the way or anything. There are other cars, including Renault 4, which I also own. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is a good example of how well Renault 14's rusted. This is the rocker panel on the driver's side. But there are still some usable parts like the window cranks, door handles. The steering wheel is in decent shape. The instrument cluster went into the other car I drove. And these parts are worth saving because Renault 14 bits and pieces are really hard to find these days. Not very many people care about these cars, and most were not saved, they were just scrapped. The headlights are intact, the grille is also salvageable. Here's a look inside the engine bay, which is empty now. So I do want to keep this car until I can make sure that the parts left on it go to a good home. There you have it, my own personal abandoned car or semi-abandoned car.